Welcome to Recovery Recreation Television. I'm your host, Susie Lordy. I'm also the founder of a nonprofit here in Massachusetts called 24 Hour Power Inc. And we do a unique art form called Recovery Graffiti all over the state of Massachusetts. Now, some people were coming up to us at events and saying things like, Susie, there's nothing fun going on around here. Now, we know that's not true, but we decided right then and there, we better make it our mission to go hunt down what's going on everywhere from Fitchburg to Falmouth and everywhere in between. Things that are healthy, happy, fun, chemical free. So don't think you can't have fun sober. You just haven't hung out with us yet. Here with us today is an extremely talented young man who is heavy into recovery and knows how to have a great time sober. Mike DiNatale.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here right now. Thank you so much.
Well, we feel the same way. And Mike's got a lot to say, so we're going to get right into it. You're a local kid, right?
Yeah. So I originally, South Boston. My whole family's from Southie, Old Colony, like the whole story. But when I was like 4 or 5, my dad was like, I'm not raising my kid here. So we went to Milton. So I grew up all Milton public schools, elementary, middle school, Milton High, and then, we'll get into it, but I got expelled from Milton High and went into Weymouth.
So you're close with your family then?
Very close with my family. It's just me and my sister.
Okay.
And then both of my parents are still alive. They were divorced when I was around that same age, like 4 or 5. So I saw my mother on weekends, but, me and my dad are like best friends. And the story of a son being close to his dad, I mean, it's our story,
Yeah, so that's a real blessing. Now you're a rapper, a singer, and a songwriter. So
Correct.
What came first?
My sister's baby's father was my best friend in this world. His name was Ralphie Brennan, also from Southie. And he passed away in 2016 of a drug overdose. He had 11 months clean, went out, 1 bag, hot bag, fentanyl, and he was gone. And, I missed his funeral because I was getting high, and it kills me, it eats me up. But what I found out is a few months later, I started writing just poems, because he used to always write poems. And he was awesome with it. Like, the poems that he would write were just amazing, but I don't have a single one of them. I don't know where they are.
Wow.
So I started writing poems and started posting them on Facebook when I was down in Florida trying to get clean. And
now, how old were you then?
I originally went down to Florida when I was, it was 2012. So I turned 21 in treatment at a treatment center on Singer Island.
Sure.
It was called the New Day. And I went down there, and I think I got kicked out of that treatment and got sent back home like 30 days later for fraternizing or something. Then I came home, tried to make it work again. My first treatment was in the Cushing house at 16 years old. That's where I learned how to shoot heroin. And pretty much the rest is history. I started posting poems and little dumb things that I wrote on Facebook, and the response was kind of cool, so I kept doing it. And that led me to writing my first song, which I started writing in the beginning of 2018, and I finally recorded it in 2020, the beginning of 2020.
And what's the name of that song, Mike?
Fear God. I went to the Bridge in Cambridge to record it. I went with my mom and my dad. We went into my mother's Volkswagen Bug. My dad was in the back seat. We're hunkered down. We go over there to Cambridge, and they watched me record my first song. And it took me over a year to create that song. It took me a couple relapses, a couple overdoses, a couple burnt bridges to make that song. So to have my parents there when I'm recording it in a state-of-the-art studio like the Bridge, it was amazing.
Mike D. 617, stand up. I got a message, so I hope you take the time to listen. To fill the void has always been my one and only mission, but there's something missing, and I know I've been so distant, but I'm trying to find myself, and God has been pretty sufficient. This ain't for the people who have their life put together. This for the kids who think that heroin will make things better. 23.
And I'm not just a drug addict. Like, I have severe bipolar 1 disorder. I've been in many psych wards, manic episodes, like going back from when I was 18. I've been in, maybe 30 psych wards at least. A lot of scary situations. So to have my family around in the process of trying to figure out the right meds and, the right solution, just to have them have my back, it's just been, you can't put a price on it.
And trying to explain this to people, it's really my mission. It's not like we just started getting high and that's
Right.
how it went. People that are addicts, I mean, there are underlying causes and conditions always. And that flip the switch on us. So
Right.
I'm really glad that you brought that up during this discussion, because it's key. It's part of who you are. It's part of the music that you're creating. What was going on with you during the pandemic?
So when the pandemic hit, I was in the middle of trying to get clean. So I met Ty Hunt, and Ty Hunt introduced me to you. Ty is one of my closest friends, and he introduced me to my producer, Rockwood Productions, who is just, it's just not another just a godsend to have someone who I work so well with them. But anyway, we did a song called Upon Your Entrance together, and that's where I actually got this ribbon. I did that with Ty at the Holbrook overdose awareness vigil recently, not even a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, at first you're like, no, those are great people that I met, and you don't know like what's gonna happen, but then all of a sudden, like, God starts to bring them back around, and you start seeing the full circle of things. So so when the pandemic hit, I was like trying to stay clean. I was hitting NA meetings. I met Ty at a meeting. I just went to a meeting one night at the Brockton VA, and the rest is kind of like history with that whole situation. I went to the meeting with a friend of mine, and I left the meeting in Ty's car to show him my song, Fear God. So it was kind of, And then we all met at a restaurant, and I went back with my friend after that, but it was kind of just cool how that happened. When I get clean and I don't have the right medications, mania hits, and my bipolar 1 is really like, it's a tough situation, because I don't even know how to handle it. I don't know what's coming next. And that just led me to a few bad decisions, and I started using crystal meth. I've been brought to some really deep rooted trenches with crystal meth use, and I know how powerful it is, and how, just as much as we're talking about fentanyl, just as much as we're talking about, pressed Xanax or anything that we're talking about these people dying, like, I think someone needs to start talking about the severity of crystal meth, but that's maybe for another day. So I was basically locking myself in my room at my dad's house, telling him I was manic, telling him that I don't know what to do. I'm trying, I'll work on getting meds. Meanwhile, I'm shooting meth in my room, and in a dark place, doing really dark stuff, and I had to go through all that. I had to, have my family see firsthand how dark my addiction gets, and the progression of it really quick. So COVID's here. Everybody's hunkered down in their house, and I try to get clean again. I started writing just poems again. I was just writing poems at that time. I actually have a bunch of them right now that I found in a drawer. There's a bunch from February 7th, and there's a bunch from February 8th. Those 2 days, I guess I decided to just write, because I have like 7 different pieces from those 2 days. And the stuff, I just found them a couple of days ago. So when I read them out loud to my dad, it's like, wow, yeah, things kind of sucked for me when I was getting high. Just like all of
Mm-hmm.
us, things were rough. But when I surrendered and I tried to, improve my relationship with God, things changed for me. So, with a long series of really crazy events that happened involving, police and, assault rifles and SWAT team, and like we have to go through all these days and months to get on the other side. But on the other side of that was North Cottage.
Okay.
And that's where I truly believe that my opinion of recovery and just the future, I think it was completely shifted when I went into that program.
Let our viewers know where North Cottage is.
So North Cottage is on Main Street in Norton, Massachusetts. It's a men's program. I think they do have a women's program in Attleboro. And there's like just 100 guys on the property just living their life, trying to make it, trying to figure it out in the woods, down the street from a Planet Fitness and down the street from a Gold's Gym, down the street from a huge lake where you can fish. I made a weight pit in the back. I brought all my weights from my house there. And, my uncle was there when I got there. He's the one who got me in, because I had been on the list for North Cottage. North Cottage is the type of place, like you put your name on a list and like, yeah, we'll see you in 4 months,
Mm-hmm.
If you can stay clean that long in a holding, we'll see you and you'll be lucky, but good luck, and that's usually the story. So God had different plans. I went to New Hope TSS in Weymouth.
Yep.
I had a great experience there. I spent 17 days there waiting to get into the cottage. I put my head down. I wrote. I read books. I read a book on a Navy SEAL, and it was amazing. And it refocused me to just be disciplined in what I was doing and get my routine. I'm a big guy on routine. Your first hour of being awake in these days, needs to be devoted to growth, like spiritual growth, and not this worldly, thing that we fall into, just swiping away and just, all these things. So I basically found that routine at the cottage. North Cottage was the reason. I read scripture every morning. I read literature out of the big book. I pray, and it's not just prayers like that you hear in church. It's an intimate conversation with my Creator, and He's leading me beside still waters, and I'm just like, I'm experiencing this as it happens. And every day at North Cottage, I was becoming more and more of the leader on the property. Everyone was looking to me like, what does Mike have to say about this? I was the X-man. Like, we all have different jobs, and like we have head houseman and all these different things. And I went in there and my role was to basically discipline people. And I remember the day I was crying on the couch there because I didn't get head houseman. Because for like 2 weeks, I was like, all right, like I'm going to do everything I can to become head houseman so I can lead these people. And I became X-Men, where I give out X's to people who do wrong. And I cried, and I called my dad, and I cried, and I told him I wanted to leave. And he told me, just keep going. It's for a reason, And for the next 2 weeks, I didn't end up giving anyone an X. And instead I went and I told them what they could do to change, like whatever they did wrong, to make it better. And
Wow.
it ended up being, a really powerful experience for me. I could talk about North Cottage all day long, but that's really like where the music thing kind of started for me. I recorded.
That was the turning point in your recovery,
Yeah.
in your real recovery.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started recording music with Ty and Rockland Productions, and things started getting professional, like real quick. So I did Upon Your Entrance with Ty. I met Rockwood, and immediately after the session, I texted Rockwood and I said, I'm going to be back here next week. And I came back, and we did Love God.
Yeah. Lord, let your love shine through me like a fog light, so those who are lost, sick, or dying may find your love through me. Mike D. Thank you, Lord. Yeah. Thank you so much. I've been sitting back and watching while the devil's steady creeping. He's been telling you to go out when you really should be sleeping. He's been right there in your face, but you can't even really see him. You may think you have him figured out, but you will never beat him. I've been chilling here with God, and I can't wait for you to meet him. He's the only way that you will ever experience freedom. I was lost, but now I'm found. It took a bunch of years to do it. I was homeless, shooting dope and coke, really going through it. But God was holding my hand, and deep down I always knew it. He was testing my love, he was just waiting for me to prove it. One day at a time, I'm saying, Satan, not today. Wake up in the morning, set some time aside to pray. I don't claim to know it all, but I know Jesus is the way. I got a dark and ugly past, but I don't care what people say. But I don't care what people say.
And that whole song basically stemmed from just a TikTok video I put out while I was at the Cottage. Just to sum TikTok up real quick, I put out a TikTok video about Eminem, and in 48 hours I had 1.5 million views. It was my first TikTok video, and everything changed after that. So I'm like, okay, I got to make videos now. I created my TikTok account to make that video. I put the video out, and now I have over 100 videos on TikTok, and I have 145,000 followers. I have almost 750,000 likes on the app. And this is all in the last 7 months. So everything in the last 7 months is just the blessings. It's the hope. It's the strength. It's the redemption. And that's what I'm so excited about. Cause like I did Love God, then I did Thank God, then I did God's Country. Now I have No Mercy, like all in this little pocket of time. So yeah, music has saved my life. People
and it's
say
saving other people's lives that are listening to it.
That's my goal. I was all state chorus in high school. I was on stage in middle school and high school doing plays. I was, playing sports, and I was always just trying to be like creative and however I could be. And I always wanted to help people. Some things that like I don't really talk about, but like when I was in elementary school, the students with special needs, they had like their own just sector in our school. They had their own place, like where they were. And I remember, like it was yesterday, I remember the girl Nicole. She's related to one of my buddies, AT, who passed away of drug overdose. But she has special needs, and I used to go and hang out with them instead of go to recess. And it's because like my dad instilled like these values and morals that like we're all just like human, man, and we just need people to like love and accept us no matter what we're going through. Because when we feel like no one accepts us, we try to numb the pain or get high or hurt people, or because hurt people, and it's just this vicious cycle. So I look at all the things like being on stage and singing and playing sports, and all these things kind of led me to something that I didn't realize was coming, and that's like making music. But yeah, I just put these stories down on paper, and I don't know what anyone else has to say about it, but I think the flow that I come with my music is not like a flow that you're gonna hear every day. And
no
the
way,
story,
Mike.
yeah.
And I'm so impressed with you because you do walk the walk. You did come to Braintree Manor Nursing Home and help me with the traumatic brain injury patients. Not patients, residents. I mean, these are people that live there their whole life, and you came there and you brought some sunlight to them, and that meant a lot to me. And then you were at the VFW hall bringing it on, man, again.
Yeah, that was another night. That was a great night.
Yeah,
I
and then
forgot
you've been
about that.
helping out the Holbrook Coalition, Holbrook Cares with wrapping at their event. I mean, that was huge. And and this
Cheers.
thing out. Yeah. Before we end this show, you're going to share a little bit of magic right now. We got a new year coming, right? We got the holidays. We got people that are going to have a tough time with the holidays, especially the month of December. Let's face it, there's a lot going on. And people are just getting back into reality after COVID-19. And,
Yeah.
there's just a lot of pressure on everybody everywhere. And how do we keep it positive? And that's what we need you for right now.
Okay. Well, I got the perfect song. It's called Thank God.
Great.
And it's, it's my most slept on song. It's the song that I didn't promote it. I didn't say, hey, look, I did this. I didn't create this buzz for it for weeks like I did No Mercy. The one I just have come out is a big deal because I've been promoting it for 3 weeks. This one, it has 500 views on YouTube. So, it's that's a small number on YouTube. So I'm excited to be able to do this right now. It's produced by Rockland Productions. This is a message for the addict in recovery. This is the message of, 6 months ago, I was in a bad place, right? Anybody can do this. You could, and I'm not saying 6 months ago I was in a bad place, but when I wrote this song, I was thinking to myself, this is such a blessing to be able to be clean in this world and to have a home and to have family and to have heat and to have a place to rest my head and to have a place to keep my things. And I don't have to live out of a suitcase anymore on the floor. And I don't have my bags packed up in my bedroom, So this is a song of just thank God, man. Thank you, Lord. Sober's better. We do recover. That's my message. Sick of hearing that my friends are dead. Wish I could bring them back so we could break some bread. I'm trying to lead the pack until the word is spread. Sober's better. Get that through your head. There's not a single prayer that's better left unsaid. So go and say your prayers, then go and make your bed. 02127. Around here, we don't give up for a second. Unpredictable, so we keep you guessing. We don't need to hold any kind of a weapon. We got the Holy Ghost anywhere that we're checking. Our friends keep dying, so we count every blessing. Every single day, there's a choice to be made. Get up and fight or just be afraid. Live in the light or die in the shade. Thank God for Jesus. I know that I'm saved. Declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Been to hell and back, I like it better here. I'm done with the crack, now I'm in the clear. One day at a time. I pray to God to avoid the fear. It got real when I saw my dad shed a tear. I said never again. I was so sincere, but the devil had a grip that was so severe. It was so severe. I put the white flag up and I took a knee. But not for you. This time I did it for me. Now I'm free and I'm seeing things so clearly. I don't want to just be another RIP. So I ask and I seek and I knock and believe. Yeah, ask and I seek and I knock and believe. Yeah. He is the way, the truth, and the life. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open for you. I prayed to God, and based on what I got, I know He heard every word that I said. Took me off benches to having a bed. Now I'm not fiending, I'm writing it instead. Know that I'm blessed, I give God all the credit. I'll never rest even when I am dead. Real as it gets, I say that with my chest. Soldier of Christ, I'm no longer possessed. This is for the kids in the city feeling hopeless. Don't thank me, thank God, because He wrote this. This is for the addicts out there at the lowest. This is for the moms and the dads feeling broken. Always thank God and let us have soaking. Never lose faith and never stop hoping. I follow one rule, thank God that it's golden. Thank God for Jesus, I know that I'm chosen. Heavenly Father, during difficult seasons of life, it's easy to be discouraged. In those hard times, help me place my hope in you. And in every season, help me share with others the peace that I have found in life with you. Amen. Amen. Yeah, so that's just one of the singles,
Wow.
I mean, there's just so much. There's so much,
There's so much. And so what's the best way to reach you?
So I'm opening up my social media accounts to pretty much anyone in my area. If you have mutual friends with me and you add me, obviously there's people on Facebook that are spam or that are just not even real people, and I try to weed them out. But if you are a person that I think that something that I say could help, I'm accepting pretty much all friend requests. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. So I'm Mike DiNatale on Facebook, and I have an artist page on Facebook as well. It's Mike DiNatale Official. And that's what I am on TikTok. I would love for people to go to the TikTok, not because of, you know, to get a follower, is more because I'm live there almost every day. And I'm going live with people in recovery at 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm usually on there. And it's mike.dinatale.official. You know, for Spotify and Apple Music, I'm Mike DiNatale, you know?
So Mike, thanks again for everything.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to hearing you in person again real soon.
Oh, you will. I promise you, Susie. Thank you so much again.
That, my friends, is a wrap. So on behalf of our staff here at Recovery Recreation, we want to wish you a very happy, a very healthy, a very safe and blessed December.
Yes.
Don't think you can't have fun sober. You just have to hang out with us more. Until next year, peace out.
Peace. Sober's better.